So good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is a Chicago by Night scene. If you are an ST or one of my many other friends from gaming, welcome to watching. If you are under the age of 18, get the fuck off my watcher list. You are too young to be watching these shenanigans. We will open the scene at Tiny's house. Tiny is not sure, but the past couple of days he's heard tapping inside the walls.
There may be chunks of wall missing.
I was gonna say he's not sure if it's actually in the walls or if it's one of the other housemates. All he knows is he hears tapping.
Usually where I hear it from, I will remove parts of the wall. And look around.
There's traces of like bits of torn lace, the odd bauble here and there inside the walls, but no person.
Very odd. I must have tea. And he'll wander off to the kitchen and make tea and think on this, staring at the wall.
Trisha is literally on the counter, like trying to dump the whole tin into the pot for you, while the other housemaid is like, no, that's too much.
And thank you. I'm hearing tapping in the walls. Do you hear things?
I hear tapping everywhere. The walls, the floor, the city streets.
That's disconcerting. Why do you hear tapping everywhere?
I chased it once, down one of those holes in the street. There's lots of brown, smelly shit and water. And lots of little furry things that made tapping.
Oh, so we might have monsters in our walls. Great. Nebula will help me. I have to call Nebula.
The tentacled goddess is quite intelligent.
She's pretty brilliant. Her and I can think. Vinny. Yeah, that's it. I love them. They're amazing.
I have not met the Vinny yet. Is he tasty?
Depends on how you mean.
I mean, could I eat his arm and it be okay?
I don't think so. I could ask, though, but I don't think he would like that. He used to be a mirror.
So he would be a sharp morsel, not a tasty morsel.
It would be, I think it might it's something to cut your teeth on. I'm funny. He walks over. We're back in the day of picking up the phone and talking to an operator, right?
Yes, but unfortunately, your house does not have a telephone.
Why do I not have
It was not a common item in the 20s. Not everybody had a phone.
Well, I want a phone.
Buy a phone.
That's so expensive. I have to have money for that.
You have a job?
I know. Patricia, do you want to go to the hospital today?
I will go where my alpha leads.
Okay, we're going to let you go play with the kids at the hospital.
She groans.
You like the kids at the hospital. That's a gift for you. I thought, did something happen?
I did not understand the concept of a game and got in trouble with Ruth.
Oh.
I will just avoid playing the tag or hide and seek.
Did you push somebody face first in the ground?
No.
Oh, okay. I would have done that.
I chewed on a child.
Definitely shouldn't chew on the children. I would get yelled at for that too.
I can hear the Nebula screaming in obscenities in the background somewhere.
All right. Yeah. Just you're. If you don't want to go there, you can stay here.
No, it's fine. I will just not hunt the children.
Well, I thought you liked the children, so.
I like the children, but their games are too much like hunting. I thought they wanted me to eat them.
Oh, yeah. No eating the children. He smiles. Trust me, it's hard to remember. I see people, I want to eat them all the time, but apparently not. Meh.
So you two are going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Nebula,
Yes, ma'am.
you wake up to a bowl of cold oatmeal and a cup of juice.
Billy's probably already gone to work, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Billy.
nobody's actually broke into the house. Good.
Billy
Guess
is
what?
broken
Vinny
in.
has. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Vinny hasn't broken in either today. What?
Oh, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, the note from Billy simply says, I only know how to make so many things.
She'll eat and like get ready.
If she's going to work, she actually has a nurse's uniform to wear now.
Yay!
And the skirt is actually long enough, it goes past her knees and it covers all of her tentacles.
Yay! This way, nobody gets freaked out. Hopefully. Granted, with the big buggy eyes, it's a little bit difficult not to get freaked out, but.
So you're headed to work, they're headed to the same place. Vincent, you wake up in Mary's room.
Mm-hmm. Vinny immediately headed over and was cooked in the kitchen. He woke up early.
You
And
woke
then
up
went
early enough that Mary was gone, and when you passed a mirror, you noticed you had a full face of makeup and some glitter.
Oh my god.
And
Well,
a little kiss mark right above your left eyebrow.
he cleans himself up. Then he goes to the kitchen and he makes breakfast and everything for Wes. And then he makes coffee and goes to his office. Because this is what he's been doing.
Wes is in his office. He is actually trying to smoke a Cuban that's sort of staying lit, but it's like when it's due to him being still in winter, it's like that phase where it's just going out.
Mm-hmm. Vinny will go over, he'll take a match and he'll light it, and he'll put it up to the cigar for him.
He'll puff on it enough to get the cigar hot again. Enjoy his smoke. He'll sip the coffee you brought him. He'll eat some of the breakfast. And
Vinny won't let him hold the coffee. He'll have him drink it slowly so it stays hot.
And he'll look at Vinny and be like, and have you ate?
He takes a piece of bacon and just nibbles on it. There, I ate.
He pushes half the food on the plate over to Vinny.
He sighs and just, sits down next to him and starts eating.
Roll me wits and what else do I want you to roll me? I want you to roll me something good. I'm checking the roll for this. Roll me wits empathy.
Wits empathy. Okay. He has a good dice pool for it. Would it be kind of like a perception-based roll?
It kind of is, yes.
Would it? So, his heightened senses would affect that.
Yes, it would, because it's a physical thing you're looking at.
Okay, so that's 7 dice, and then Train Observer would apply as well, right?
What is Chain Observer exactly for again?
Train Observer. Your character spent years in the field catching tiny details and digging for secrets.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead. That's 7 dice. I'll use my phone.
Nebula's over in the corner with popcorn going, yes.
Right?
The secret romantic.
And Tiny's in the playroom trying not to hunt children.
Da-da-da-da. 4 successes.
You notice that the whole time, every time you put something in your mouth, he starts watching your mouth, and then when you swallow, he swallows. Granted, he's just making a swallowing motion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm trolling you some. Enjoy that. So, Tiny, you've arrived at the hospital.
I wandered to the kids area with Patricia. I forget who's in charge of the kids area.
A
Was it Ruth?
couple of nurses, but Ruth is the head nurse, usually everywhere.
I will find Ruth and say, I've talked to Patricia, and she will not hunt and eat the children. Is it okay if she plays with them today?
Today is indoor play, so I do not think tag or hide and seek will put that in danger again.
Okay, I'm sorry that she tried to eat them. I tried to explain to her. I don't eat the children either, so we're good. Is Nebula and or Vinny here by chance?
Vinny is with Mr. Weston in his private quarters, and Nebula should be arriving soon for her scheduled shift.
Oh, that means she has to work and can't come out and play. Oh well.
Depending on the situation, she will be partaking in play. She tends to most of the children with me.
Oh, well, that's cool. She likes children.
And Mr. Vinny works here, but we have him working with a specific child.
I understand. Thank you, Ruth.
You're welcome, Mr. Handsome. And
Thank
she will
you.
walk off.
Who do I go see?
And gigolo.
I have no boundaries. I'm gonna go to Weston's personal private quarter.
You're all right. You walk in just as Weston's like leaning really close to Vincent and about to say something. That as soon as you walk in, he puts a professional distance between the two of them.
Tiny just watches them and blinks. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Weston. Or Doctor. Oh, I can't remember what I'm not supposed to call you.
Just Weston's fine.
How are you today, sir?
Eating my breakfast. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I brought Patricia to play with the children, and I was going to see if maybe Vinny and Nebula wanted to go on an adventure. Also, there's noises in my walls, and it confuses me. So I was going to ask about that too.
What sort of noises?
It's like tap-a-tap-tap-a-dee-ding, but then when I rip the wall open, there's nothing back there except for weird stuff, like lace and...
Well, you could either have a lost in your walls, a hobgoblin, or a rats.
None of those sound good.
Vinny just kind of like, when he says that he ripped some of the walls apart, he furrows his brows and just like puts his hand there where he's like pinching them and rubbing the brows.
Mr. Vincent, would you like to help our friend out today?
That seems like a good idea.
What are you eating for breakfast today?
Would you like a piece of bacon?
No, thank you. I had tea and I had cake for breakfast.
He looks at Vincent. That was an option?
It's always an option. I go to the store, and the nice lady at the store who gave me the poop alcohol the one time, she gives me...
Wait. Poop alcohol?
It was a gift for
Angelo.
Angelo because he's a douche face.
I
Yes.
can no longer be told anything involving this, or I will be considered an accomplice.
Oh, it's all over and done with. It happened a long time ago. With the day I tried to punch him in his face hole.
His face. Your words amuse me, Tiny.
Well, I'm glad that I make you happy. I will leave you alone so you guys can say goodbyes, but I didn't mean to interrupt. I just was looking for you, and I wanted to see you too, Mr. Weston, because you're amazing, and it's always nice to see you. Thank you.
You are too handsome, Tiny.
He walks out and shuts the door behind him.
Vinny just is rubbing his face and shaking his head.
Would you like a shot of whiskey before you go?
Oh, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. He gently like pats
He's
his
already
shoulder.
pouring himself a shot of whiskey himself, and he takes a big drink of it, picks Vincent's hand up, puts the cup in his hand with the part he drank from facing towards him to drink from. And then he walks out to go deal with patients.
Vinny blinks. He looks at the cup that has whiskey in it, and he blushes slightly as he like takes a swig of it right from where like he turned the cup around. And he walks out like with a slight blush on his cheeks.
Nebula, as you arrive, you see Vincent blushing and leaving Weston's office.
I'm still choosing to be oblivious, but she'll look up and just kind of grin.
Quite a few of the children, as soon as they see Vincent walking by, they start screaming, "My king!"
Whenever they start screaming that, he just starts laughing, and he does like a slight bow.
Like he will actually notice where their building boxes and blocks and pillows and stuff are. Someone has actually drawn a mural on the wall of him.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
It's actually a mural of him, like, punching his way out of a mirror frame.
That's
disconcerting.
And, like, as he's cut, like, the half of him that's outside of the mirror frame at this point is, like, dressed as a king, and the rest of him is dressed as, like, normal Vinny.
Vinny blinks. And he just is kind of like dumbfounded because they're making him really nice things.
Tiny has a mural too, but it's in the darkest part of the room, and it has like glowing eyes and looks like something out of a child's nightmare. Like, some of the kids are close to that mural and don't seem scared of it, but it seems Tiny has terrified and amused the children all at once.
Should have brought them cake.
Nebula
But then
kind of
Ruth
lean
would have been mad at me.
to Vinny and kind of go, they look up to you.
It appears so. He just kind of straightens his hair.
Frank walks by with his pants. Just wait till I do one for Nebula, and keeps walking.
I'm gonna look over at the scary one to Tiny, and she's actually hoping that he did not know that came from her.
Who is that handsome man? He looks kind of like me.
Yes, he does.
The kids like me enough to have a picture of me? That's so nice. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Nebula. I missed you.
I missed you too. Wait,
I have broken walls.
you have broken. Wait, what?
My walls broke.
Patricia, walking by with 2 kids slung over each shoulder, states he won't stop ripping the walls open because of the tap, tap, taps.
He cringes at the tap, tap, taps.
Nevi's eyes, if it's possible, get bigger. There's something tapping at the wall.
Yeah, Weston gave me 3 choices. It could be the rats, which is the best of the choices, or it could be the hobgoblins, or it could be a lost. And I don't want any of them in my walls. Belly, maybe, but not walls. That's not where they go.
Tiny has OCD.
Please don't eat rats. They will.
They taste good. Patricia yells.
They'll give you diseases.
No, my belly is super strong against diseases. It's not worrisome. He pats his belly. But they wouldn't be very filling. They're tiny. Not like me tiny, but different tiny. Like the opposite of me tiny.
Have I seen Frank do these drawings? Or
you didn't see Frank do these
here just now?
No, it didn't appear just now, but it wasn't there yesterday, but it does look fresh. Like it looks like it literally is just finished drawing type mural.
He must have spent all morning on
it. Is Harry around?
Yeah, Harry's around. I actually couldn't remember if Frank or Harry is the wizened artist.
No, it's Frank that's the wizened artist.
Okay.
Harry's a little bit.
Oh yeah. I have too many NPCs. Yes, Harry's around. He is sitting with a book, reading Alice in Wonderland right now.
Because he's amazing.
Vinny currently has been. He's set up like a table, and he's teaching the children proper etiquette, like to be like royalty while they're drinking like fake tea.
OCC, basically Vinny's tired of children covered in cake trying to hug him.
Yes, he is teaching them proper etiquette.
So that they don't end up covered in cake and trying to hug him?
Basically. All I'm imagining is a sign in the future hanging above his castle. They build him reading "Clean children get closer to the king."
Note to self: cover Vinny in cake. Got it.
Yeah. So Vinny's teaching etiquette. Ruth does not care. She actually likes this idea, so isn't interfering. She has come over to Tiny and Nebula.
Did Frank do these?
Yeah. He spent all night and part of dawn.
So
he only did it because the other kids begged him to, and they gave him their allowance. They paid him to paint these. I did not approve, but Weston said if that's what they want to spend their allowance on, we can't tell them what they can and can't spend it on.
I was kind of hoping that it would make for a break from what he was drawing.
Oh no, he as soon as these were done, he went right back to that.
Well,
he's also done some full scenario landscape type paintings with that Gentry in them. Sometimes I wonder if Frank even wanted to come back, is all she says, looking towards him wandering off with his notepad.
I didn't mind what I was doing. Well, I didn't mind where I was, but I didn't like what I was doing. That's why I came back. It wasn't a bad place if you take into account like how pretty it was. It was pretty.
Nebula's just gonna kind of not really side eye him, but
Do you remember the garden though? The garden was beautiful. The flowers smelled so good. I miss that.
you got to leave your area.
That's true. I did, but usually not for good reasons. But 5 minutes in the garden, I would go behind one of the walls and I would kick my feet up, and then hope the grinning, well, you know who, doesn't see me.
I think it would help if we could find where his muse went. He said the only reason he left his keeper went through the hedge to come back here was he was chasing after his muse, but he couldn't find her once they got through.
Vinny raises an eyebrow, like, well, because he was slightly here listening.
I mean, I thought maybe it'd be one of the other children here, but none of the children are muses.
That's amusing.
Side eye.
Just
Side eye.
So, Mr. Tiny, I believe I heard you said you were having a situation with mice, or tapping at least.
There were tapping. It's like awful.
She hands him a small brown sack. Well, once you're done with these two helping you figure out your wall situation, if it's mice, those should help.
Ooh, what is those? I look in the sack.
It's little mouse traps.
But
You just put cheese on them, set them. The box will close after they go in for the cheese, and you can put them outside. Or kill them. Whichever you prefer.
I was told not to eat the rats. I'm guessing mice are like baby rats, so I shouldn't eat them either.
Mice are distant cousins of rats that are smaller. You could have rats, you could have mice, or you could have some lost who doesn't know what to do in your walls.
Oh, I'll find him. He'll show him what to do.
Or you could have a hobgoblin who just doesn't know what to do. When you're lost and scared, you look for safe places. What's safer than an enclosed spot?
That is true. I should make sure that they are safe, and I will make them safe, and they will be happy.
That's good, Mr. Tiny. Mr. Vincent, Miss Nebula, I need to get back to work. Have fun, you three. And with that, without even turning towards the child behind her, she will say, Patricia, stop helping the children get onto the ceiling beams.
Look up.
They're like standing up there waving at Nebula. They've built a line of pillows underneath them, but still.
I'm gonna go lay on the pillows. Now you will fall on me. I'm gonna give him a big grin.
The kids scream and piss themselves.
Ah! Oh, it's raining. They run outside.
And I'm gonna go clean it up.
Yeah, Vinny is gonna go to the kids and help them all down while they're crying and screaming.
I mean, like, Patricia gets them down easily. She just swings them over her back and, climbs down with 2 to 3 at a time clinging to her because she's bigger than most of them.
Yeah, Vinny's helping them get down. They're probably like trembling right now.
Yeah. Muttering, don't let the eater get us.
No, everybody hates me again. Dang it.
No, they don't hate you. They're terrified of you. There's a difference.
Vinny just like kind of pats their head and says, "He just wanted to play with you. He wasn't trying to hurt you."
The side eye they're giving Tiny.
He's really scarier than he's really.
He's not as scary as he looks.
Yeah.
So he's like dumb Susie.
Dumb Susie.
She's one of the bigger kids. She lives down the hall. She doesn't play with us, though, because she's scary.
He raises a brow.
She hangs out with Mary a lot. She likes to eat lots of meat.
Yeah. He doesn't realize exactly how scary he can be.
He just wants
He
to be
really
your
is a
friend.
gentle giant. He just wants to be your friend.
They all mutter okay and go about their playing / going to the bathroom to clean up. Patricia has climbed back up to the ceiling beams without the smaller children and is just lounging up there like a cat almost.
I love Patricia.
Vinny goes over and just like pats Tiny on the back and just offers a small smile to him, just like because he knows it can be kind of rough feeling like the kids are always scared of him.
It's okay. One day, it'll be different.
They just
it'll
need to
take
get a
some
little
time, but
older, Ruth says, walking by with towels.
Sorry to make you guys have more work. I didn't mean to make it rain inside.
It's okay. Dumb Susie has made them piss themselves also.
What's dumb Susie?
Oh, she's an ogre.
There's an ogre here?
Yeah.
Why do they call her dumb Susie? Does she not talk?
That's the name she gave us. She doesn't really fit in well with these smaller children because she's an adult. A young adult, but an adult. She's 16.
Oh.
So she spends most of her time wandering around, either the grounds or in her room playing by herself.
But she spends time with Mary.
Yes, they like to play poker or checkers or chess or something.
He smiles softly at that.
She's not as dumb as people think she is based on her name, but
She just likes people to think that she is.
I would say talking to her is the equivalent of talking to maybe a 14-year-old. She's just a little behind mentally.
He nods softly.
Now, if you excuse me, I have children to clean up, and Tiny, I believe there's a cake in the kitchen for you.
Cake! He wanders off towards the kitchens.
Vinny just kind of gestures to Nebula to follow.
As they walk by, they hear at the door Ruth's voice through one of the doors going, "The cake is in here, Tiny."
Vinny looks over to Tiny and grabs his hand.
Headed?
Huh?
Where is he headed? Down the hall or to the
kitchen she said it was at is down the hall some.
Okay, so this is not Mockingbird.
It is
No.
Mockingbird. She's in her room.
This next one is Mockingbird and trying to call Tiny away from the kitchen.
I'm so confused.
Vinny takes his hand and gestures to the
grabbing
kitchen.
him and you're headed to the kitchen. You're not going anywhere near that. Nope.
I have all the cakes though, Tiny. Ruth's voice again.
I want all the cakes, and I will.
No, you don't.
Vinny,
No.
That's not Ruth.
That's not Ruth.
Sounds like Ruth.
It's Mockingbird. She can change her voice. She's a mere skin like me.
Oh. Well, that's not nice. And he go head towards the kitchen.
You're not nice, Tiny's voice calls through the door.
There's kind of a growl that issues from Tiny, like an actual like from his chest growl, and he's like, "You have no idea." And he'll go into the kitchen.
It's a little cupcake. Not It's not like little compared to like Nebula's hands or Vincent's. It's huge to them, but to your ogre hands, it's tiny.
So it's like a giant cupcake, but
Basically.
tiny to tiny.
Yeah, it's a human giant cupcake, but to an ogre, it's a tiny cupcake. And it's a chocolate one, and it's got cream cheese frosting with a little letter that's painted in blue icing of a T.
That's quite a large cupcake, huh?
T for tiny.
Ruth thinks of everything.
Who says it was Ruth that made it? He raises a brow.
Well, she was the one who said it.
Just because she mentioned that there was a cake waiting for him doesn't mean that she was the one who made it.
That's true.
So do you eat the cupcake immediately, or do you take it with you?
I'm taking it with me.
Yeah. As you're leaving, a very pale blue hand is slid through the slot on the door that had Ruth's voice in it and is shaking a bag of little candies.
I will take the candies.
Wait, where
Oh,
is
no,
it
you
coming from?
Mockingbird's door. She's now offering physical sweets to get Tiny over.
Yeah,
No.
Vincent will like
Grab
swivel and be like, "Do not head that way, Tiny."
What? You got candy? I could put the candy on the cupcake.
You really don't want to do that.
Okay.
You really want to do that. Nebula's voice this time.
Nope. You didn't fool me this time because Nebula doesn't tell me to do things usually. She's usually like, you shouldn't do that because she cares about me. So now I know you lying.
Vinny walks over to the door, but not like close enough where she can reach him. And he says, "Mockingbird, please stop."
Why is she mean? Is she bad?
She's
No,
not bad. She's hurting.
What hurts?
She just drops the candy with a growl. I'll
Ow.
hunt later, she says in Vinny's voice.
She said that she'll hunt later. Hunt later? Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Wait, she was hunting me? Oh,
Yes.
she's silly. That's just a terrible idea.
Vinny like picks up the candy because she just dropped it and walks over to Tiny. He sets the candy in his hand.
Tiny now has a cupcake and a bag of sweets.
So happy am I. Where would Mary be right about now?
You know she has lessons she goes to, but they partake in the asylum.
Oh, okay. We have to stop by City Hall on the way to my house to get the mouses. Is that okay?
All right.
Yeah. Why do we have to stop by City Hall?
Well, I have a cupcake and I have candy to give to the boss lady.
Oh, yes.
By the way, Vinny is slightly smiling because she stopped whenever he asked her to stop. So
I mean, she likes Vinny. She'll listen to him even if he pisses her off. So the candies that are in the bag are called Abazabbas. They're little 2-ounce chewy taffy peanut butter center caramel chew bars.
That sounds yummy.
Yeah, they were discontinued in the 60s, but you can still get them at specialty shops.
Do you have to work your full shift before we leave? I can find some way to keep myself occupied.
Yeah, I need to work my full shift.
Oh,
Vinny looks to Nebby, and then he mentions, like, he's just kind of like gestures to Ruth. She mentioned that if it's ever necessary, we can always head off. And she already mentioned that we could leave.
Tiny's, while you guys were talking about that, Tiny's already kind of wandered off, and he puts the cupcake down nicely with the candy, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out his book, and he sits down and starts reading. Just like in a random corner.
Yeah, but the work's gotta be done.
He's reading, they're talking. Mockingbird is whistling a very creepy, like glass clinking tune towards Tiny.
The work needs to be done, yes.
Maybe we should have words.
But you also are required to have a break. He just gently like dusts off her shoulders. You can't do everything on your own.
Okay. Well, we do need to check on his walls.
He nods. Is that all right, Ruth?
Ruth nods. It might be a good idea. I mean, she's never even seen Susie, so I think Tiny's the first ogre she's seeing, and that's that situation. The charlatan says, motioning. The chatelaine says, motioning between Tiny and the mockingbird's door.
Yeah, that's why she's wanting to eat him so bad.
She has a list. You've never seen her list. She keeps it well hidden.
Oh.
Mr. Tiny, do you wish to see Mary before you go, or shall you be coming back later?
I will come back later, because I will help do whatever you need if I have time, and I can help Nebby, and I can help Vinny if they need it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have words with this Mockingjay person.
Nebby's shaking her head no.
She thinks she's going to hunt me, and that's not how this works. There's only one hunter, and that's me.
There are two white orbs staring through the slot at him with pale blue strands of hair hanging down.
Yes, you aren't good enough.
Tiny.
Sorry, where are we? Are we leaving? He stands up and puts the book away.
We are leaving.
Carefully picks up his candies and his cupcake.
Ruth pats Tiny on the back. You're challenging a child to a hunting contest.
I know. I'm guaranteed to win. This is a good thing.
No, this is not a good thing.
Well, if it was an adult, it's a 50-50 chance. Child, they're little. I'm not going to eat her. I promised I wouldn't eat people.
Vinny has a look in his eyes that could only be described as like
a migraine.
Probably like the deepest frost of winter.
No.
Yes, is all you hear as you're leaving from the door.
I could help her. I lived that life. Look how I've helped with Patricia. She has only gnawed on a couple children. Not a lot. And she genuinely got confused because tag is confusing like that. People running around chasing each other.
It's
Why would
true.
you not gnaw on somebody?
This one, you can't get anywhere near the door.
She doesn't kill to eat people. She kills to collect.
To collect? Ooh.
I found on her bed severed ears of many of her victims.
Oh, I don't have ears.
Ruth, as she's walking out with them, and she ate parts of them that she killed. It's just
That's just common sense. I mean, common courtesy. If you're going to kill
But-
them, you eat them. And he walks off like, y'all crazy.
But she needs to collect. It's not a safe situation, at least till we can get her settled enough that she can have a normal conversation as her somewhat any voice but the one she's talking to's voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, a huge improvement. At least she's trying to lure you over instead of just stretching out through the slot in the door. And thanks to Vincent's visits, she's at least stopped trying to get the children. Now she just targets adults, so it's an improvement.
It is.
It took a moment, basically, of me describing that children are easy prey, so there's no fun in it.
That is true, and she prefers to be challenged. So, I will see you three in a few hours when you're done with your errands. Miss Nebula, you can just help make up whatever you miss now at the night shift with me, which is feed dinner to the children, put them to bed, that sort of thing.
I'd like that.
She nods. I will see you all then. You can help me get Mary to take her medication, she says with a smile.
Whoo!
Yeah, Vinny just kind of shudders at that thought and just kind of walks with Tiny.
Just a mild sedative helps her anxiety. Is all she mutters as she closes the door behind them.
I wonder.
So y'all guys are going to Greta first, I take it.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me switch out Dawn's overlay for Greta's then, I guess. So as you're walking, you see the everyday life of changelings and life and lots of fun. All over town, your cupcake smells delicious.
And no,
Vinny with his bitching glare, like just
Town hall and the only courthouse in town are packed with people talking and communicating and all that joy.
Vinny just kind of opens up the door for both of them and like gestures for them to go inside.
she will follow.
Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I was just talking while muted. Tiny he was holding the cupcake the entire way super delicately, and he's all like making sure it doesn't get bumped, and he kind of is eyeballing anybody gets too close to him. And then when he gets there, he kind of ducks his way through the large doorway or the door frame or the door frame. And
He actually doesn't have to duck. The doors on this building are actually tall enough he can get through.
oh, cool.
The only thing he has to do is turn sideways a little bit because they're kind of narrow.
He does so. And then he looks around for Greta because I know it's busy.
She's sitting at a desk with two fingers to each side of her head, rubbing her temples as a man talks about how the whole city is against him and he shouldn't be convicted of anything or even charged with these charges.
I'll head that direction.
She'll glance up and she goes, "Deputy, welcome."
Hi, I brought you a cupcake and candy. And I look at the guy. People only rub their head like that when they're annoyed. So you should shut up.
It's like, how dare you? I'm talking to my lawyer about the case. You're not involved, officer.
I know, but I know that look.
She
And-
inhales deeply and she's like, Tiny, thank you so much for the sweets. Can you go get us all some coffee while I have this man escorted back to his cell?
Yes, I will. Coffee. Do you want ice sugar?
No sugar. I prefer it black, but thank you.
Vinny just kind of walks past and gives the man a bone-chilling glare that is enough to like give him like make him shit himself.
The man's doing that. He's like, I knew I shouldn't have hired some broad to represent me. And she's like, you didn't hire me. I'm what was assigned to you because you couldn't afford representation. As soon as he's gone, she's like, I fucking hate bigots.
He's a bigot? What's bigot?
He... My men picked him up for putting a special type of mannequin by the noose in someone's front yard.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, at least it would have been a quick
Correct.
death.
That's
a special
why I like
kind
you,
of
Nebula. He's a racist. He hates people because of their skin color.
That's stupid.
I can agree with you. Part of the city has bills passed recently because of it, but there are still idiots who fight against that. So, what can I do for you three? While she like literally puts her finger into the tea on the cupcake and wipes all the blue icing off with her finger and eats it before the rest.
He comes back with coffee.
He sees the tea on the cupcake has been eaten.
That is the way to do it.
I believe that Tiny has tapping in the walls. You've heard tapping.
There's tapping in my walls. They gave me these. They're called the mouse traps, and I'm supposed to put cheese on them. But I keep breaking the walls, and someone's got me paranoid. There could be mice, or there could be rats. And then he whispers a little. He's like, or there could be hobgoblins, or there could be the losts.
Tiny, do you know what a lost is?
Is that what? It's us.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure somebody had explained the terminology to you.
I didn't know that, but I guessed.
She will reach into her drawer and pull out a small pair of like spectacles, but they have like purple lenses, and she'll offer them to Nebula.
I would look amazing in those.
They won't fit your head, Tiny, or I will.
But I would look amazing in those.
This is a loan. I'm gonna need that token back. It's a very special item. When you wear it, if there's any changelings that don't belong in his house, you should be able to see through the walls without him tearing them open.
Thank God.
Oh, we need to have a conversation sometime soon.
About what, dear? We can have it right now.
This is a very, very private conversation, so I do not think now would be a good time.
Shall we go to the back office then?
Vinny raises an eyebrow.
Yes.
She motions Nebula, Vinny, and Tiny to the back office.
Follow.
He follows them.
I need somebody out of character. It's been a very long time since we played, and I don't have good notes. What is the charge? What is that person's name?
The charge.
The person that I am like watching, and
the shade.
The shade. But that's not what she's called, is it? There's something else she's called too, right?
Oh, Emilia? Greta's daughter?
Yeah, Amelia. But Greta doesn't know that she's the shade, right?
No, she does not know she's the shade.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, once they're at the table, she'll motion them. The back room has like a half crescent moon shaped table with chairs around it. It's obvious this is strictly for the changelings to use for the report stuff.
I like your table.
Thank you. Now, what's going on?
So I've been taking care of Amelia for you, right?
I've asked you to keep her out of trouble, yes. My daughter can be a bit rambunctious.
Vinny
Well,
raises a brow because that's the first time he's heard that it was her daughter.
well, apparently she is a bad person called the Shade, and
She's choking on her coffee.
I didn't know that when I was okay with this.
Wait. You're telling me my daughter that has lived in secret seclusion for 17 years is an assassin
Yes.
who literally targets anything that does my ex-husband good.
Yes.
I don't know whether to applaud the girl or smack her upside the head.
I would applaud her because she has instilled fear in many of people. But I don't think she's summer-y. She seems more autumn-y to me. But I didn't think you knew this, and I thought this was a relevant piece of information that you should know. Because you're my queen, and I would tell you this.
Tiny, you are very loyal, and thank you. I did not know this. Nebula can tell she's having a conflict of interest in her head right now.
Oh God.
At the same time, this is highly dangerous because Angelo can never know she exists. Ever.
Understood. I would never allow that. That's part of the
Like,
agreement we made.
he's seen her at parties. He does not know who she is, and he should. She looks at Vinny and Nebula. Should never know who she is.
Never will.
Vinny nods.
Other than that,
That's all I wanted to tell you, but it was something important that I haven't been able to tell you because I haven't seen you lately.
she's opened her little side bag she carries and pulled a couple $100 bills, which is quite a lot out for this timeline, and hands him two of them.
Ooh, well, thank you. More cake for us.
That's for you to shop with, your weekly payment, and the extra is for your time and services to continue with my daughter.
Of course.
Befriend her. She needs a friend. Keep her out of trouble.
I enjoy your daughter's company immensely, actually. Actually, I do. She's a little terrifying, but I think I like that in another person.
Yes, I mean, most of the court list can be terrifying.
Vinny, subtly, he was just kind of like, he is remembering the motions he was doing whenever he was watching Nebby, and his hands are like twirling his fingers like he's wrapping string around them.
Nebby is going to grab hold of his hand.
And he kind of looks to her.
She looks to him.
I have to ask something, and I hope it's not too personal, Mr. Vincent. Why do you smell like the Dr. Weston's cologne?
He takes in a sharp breath. I have been making sure he eats every morning, so we've been eating together.
Tiny,
What-
could
and
you, Nebula, leave Vincent alone with me for a moment, please?
Yeah, well, but no, when I went to see Mr. Weston today, it looked like he was whispering to Vinny, so it could have gotten cologne on him then.
Going to him. And like,
Vinny's face is turning bright red.
She moves closer to Vincent as soon as they're gone, takes both of his hands, and just smiles at him. Weston swings for both teams, dear. So if you break his heart, I will castrate you.
He nods and he takes in a deep breath.
He's like a brother to me. Don't hurt him. And she'll pat his hands and then go outside of the office room. She will continue eating the cupcake as she exits the room. She'll kiss Tiny on the cheek as a thank you for the cupcake, and will go to her desk. So now y'all have something to help if it's mice and something to help if it's a changeling or a hobgoblin.
All right.
Without
To the
having
home.
to demolish the whole house, basically.
To the house.
Yeah, that would
If
be
we
good.
Can we take the trolley?
Yes.
I want to take the trolley. I like the trolley.
Is Vincent alive and going with them?
Yes, it was freezing up, but Vinny's like, after that whole scenario was like just mouth opening, closing, and he just doesn't know what to do right now. He's just like following everybody.
And then Tiny gets in between you two and puts his arms around both of you and just like, I love you two.
I love you too, Tiny.
Nebby will just kind of put her head, I guess, on about his hip, just because of the height difference.
She's a small.
Yes, a small wizened up next to giant ogre.
Vinny's like the middle of their heights.
So, arriving back at Tiny's house, the older Fairest, the old man Fairest, who's a silver fox as I described him, answers the door.
That's what people called me in real life.
Dun dun dun. He looks between all of you. Goes, well, at least you two look less violent than the rest that have come here.
You are so grumpy. Would you like money?
A side eye to Vincent.
I'm gonna hand the old man Ferris one of the $100 bills.
Yeah,
Well,
Vinny just smiles sweetly.
This will cover the repairs of the holes I've woken up to in the house. And goes back inside.
Well, if you would stop the tapping in the house, there wouldn't be holes.
I don't hear any tapping.
Well, get your ears cleaned, old man. Would you like tea?
I would love some tea, but first there's work to do.
Yeah, let's go get
I think tea would be first. It's only proper. And he goes off and he makes the tea.
Vinny just kind of looks at Nebby and he's just like trying to speak and he just gestures to all the holes.
The old man has literally walked past the holes to his big plush gold trimmed armchair, thrown himself down dramatically like an actor into it, and is now puffing on a pipe as he glares at Tiny. And there's a younger Ferris boy who looks about 20s in there too, and he's playing a piano, trying to ignore everyone.
Tiny comes back with his awesome tray that he spent money on for Tatis, and he hands grumpy old man tea. How many sugars you want? I forget.
He just gets his own 3 cubes and drops it in.
Okay. I will put tea on the piano, but not disturb him from playing.
Oh, that's a bad idea. He's gonna freak out about a ring on it.
Actually, if it has a little platter like I'm thinking it does.
It's got a little the little he has the little like saucer thing underneath it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And he puts 3 cubes down on it too, and then kind of nods. You are getting really, really good. It sounds great. And he wanders to you guys. How many for you? I forget.
2, please.
1, 2.
I don't prefer sugar in my tea.
Okay. And he hands you each your cups. And then he puts like 6 in his.
From behind Tiny, Vincent can see it. Nebula, how it's positioned, you're sitting right beside Tiny with your back to the younger Fairest. Vincent, you see he only puts 1 cube in his tea. He stares Vinny down as he stirs it in, takes a sip, and then licks his lips at him.
Vinny shakes his head and sips his tea.
Everything all right?
He's just like, he just rubs his face and he's like, everything's fine.
The old man looks up from his tea, and like by the time the old man looks up, the younger one has stopped, looks between the group, and then it's that boy. It's like, my son should be practicing, not socializing, and goes back to smoking his pipe and drinking his tea.
You should be practicing enough socializing.
Did you say something, Mr. Tiny?
No, of course not. I think that you are 110% correct and super smart. And he wonders, he's like, we should get this tapping problem taken care of. Come with me. He shakes the bag.
I'm putting the glasses on.
The glasses let you see through physical objects. Clothing, furniture, walls.
It lets you see through clothing.
Yeah.
Just when you look at Tiny, it's important you know.
The thing is, though, when you look at living objects, you can see through the clothes, but you can't see through the skin.
Oh, so you see everything.
So, important thing when you're looking at Tiny, yes, it's like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Oh my god.
Right, are you?
Fucking Deadpool reference.
No, that was from King Arthur, old movie.
I only know it from the Deadpool movie. So.
Oh, okay.
You look around, everything looks quite normal. The young blonde Ferris has a lot of scarring on his skin under his clothes, you notice. That sticks out about them. The older one, he looks like he's made of marble. He's pure perfection. The walls, you can see traces of mice, but there's something else in the walls. I'd say it's about your size, but it doesn't seem childish with its antic or maneuvers. So it's either an adult hobgoblin or an adult changeling that's just small. And two of the statues you can't see through.
So they're living statues.
Huh. Well,
one is a bird cage with a statue of a girl sitting in it, like in a prayer position with her one hand raised to the sky, and the other one is a bird cage with a male in it in the same pose facing towards the girl one.
why are they in bird cages?
The old man looks confused. What?
Why are they in bird cages?
He looks over. Oh, the art? I don't know. That's how the artist made them. I bought those at the market last year. Oh, no, it wasn't last year, was it? And his son's just like rubbing his eyes. He's like, no, father, you bought them 3 weeks ago.
Vinny goes over to the art and just kind of inspects it because she's talking about it.
It doesn't look like something that would have been made in this era of time. It's too well made. It's almost like a machine made it. There's no imperfections.
Vinny blinks and gently touches the skin of the statue.
It's actually fairly warm for a statue. How long do you hold your hand against the statue?
Like a few seconds, maybe a little bit longer, just kind of because he's feeling that it's warm.
Roll with sympathy.
Okay. It's the same roll that I did earlier, so just copy that roll. Okay, 4 successes yet again.
You actually notice a pulse very faintly.
Like a heartbeat.
Almost like the pulse when you touch someone's wrist. How you can feel it after a couple of seconds, sometimes strong, sometimes faint. You feel one faint.
Vinny just blinks. These statues are alive.
Uh-huh.
Tiny,
Why are they?
Tiny
What?
didn't make it out of the room before he heard that.
He just said these statues are alive.
That's not good. Are they trapped in there?
Well, that explains why those works of art costed me 2 million berries. Not a bad price. Next time I'll have to tell him. Try to get him for cheaper. It just flips open the newspaper.
Don't you want to set them free?
What would they do? Now that I know they're alive, I can feed them, give them water, make sure they're safe. But they're in there like that as art. They're most likely a treasured. Treasured never get to go back to a normal life. Now, if you don't mind, I'm reading about the plague. The younger one has gotten up and goes, "I'll go get some tools," and walks out the back door. You can tell, though, based on the bird cages, this is not what's been making the tapping sounds that have been driving Tiny crazy.
Yeah, it was probably what you saw on the wall, but Vinny doesn't know that. So
Yeah.
Vinny is.
Yeah, because at least what's in the wall can move, and she was more concerned about. Wait a minute.
Like, the only thing I could tell you is the bird cages look almost like they're made of silver, but it's almost got like a rainbow-like hue to it.
Yeah, Vinny's looking to see if he can like break open the cage.
You probably wouldn't be able to break it open, but if you wanted to try to pick the little lock on the little doors, or, get a tool to cut it open, you probably could do it that way.
Okay, let's try to pick the lock.
Like, I think the only person who could do a roll and with a very difficult roll, get it like ripped open is probably Tiny.
I have nothing in larceny.
I have nothing in larceny either.
Tiny, do you have any larceny?
I don't think so. I have not opened. Hold on. I forgot to open my sheet because I'm terrible.
That's okay. I was going to say, with Tiny being Tiny's backstory, he might have at least a dot.
Maybe. Hold on. He was more muscle though, so I don't know for sure. Tiny PDF. Boop boop.
Boop, boop, boop.
Open. Full.
And while we do that, I'm watching Vinny's little paw tremble back and forth as he sleeps.
I have 1 dot in larceny.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot.
I mean, you can spend a willpower on this roll also. So.
Well, would it be dexterity larceny?
It would be Dex larceny, yes.
Okay, well, on a good note, I have 4 dots in dexterity, so.
Yeah, you would do way better than Vinny, so.
Yeah, go ahead, try. I mean, for you, it's standard difficulty because you actually have larceny. So.
Difficulty 8?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 10 and a 9, and then everything else is a fail, but no ones.
And the 10 counts twice, so yeah.
3 successes.
So it takes you a minute. Your finger gets that stiff sensation in it while you're working, like you've been using your hand too much, which annoys you, but you get the locks open.
Shh, they don't need to know about Tiny sex life. Okay. Sorry.
Damn it, Heidi.
They don't let me out in public a lot.
The statues don't make any kind of movement at all. They don't even look like they're breathing or blinking. The old man's like muttering, "I told you so," while flipping to another page.
Vinny carefully pulls out this. He carefully pulls out the treasure he just softly just kind of brushes their head, like, because he was a mirror, like he knows what it's like to be an object.
Shoot, after that run in with the Ferris son, he knows what it's like to be viewed as an object. Asshole. Be
Yeah,
respectful.
yeah, he just kind of like tenderly holds like both of the statues, just kind of like, because they don't probably haven't felt like that. They haven't felt like somebody hold them and care for them.
While you do that, Tiny and Nebula, the younger boy, returns with some tools, sees you got them out, goes, "Oh, it's a good thing we don't need to figure out if I got the right ones or not, then."
Thank you for getting them, though.
Nebby looks over to Vinny and it's like, we'll get him to the hospital.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Excuse me, the old man. And who's going to pay me back for me buying them? You can't just take my art and not pay me for it. Which his son at this point is facepalming so hard.
So
I know she's short. She is going to try and draw herself up to as tall as she can.
Well, he's 5'10", so I'm guessing when you draw yourself up, you'd be about 5'6", 5'7".
That is not art. That is a living, breathing. Okay, maybe not breathing anymore, but it's alive.
Art can be alive, is all he says, plain matter-of-factly.
I cannot believe I'm having this conversation. How can you, who knows what it is to be a slave, be okay with having something live in a cage?
It's not living, technically, he says with a shrug. And if it's beautiful, why not give it something to do?
But it's not worth it. He's not easy to argue with because he's old and stubborn.
Oh, and by the way, there is something in the walls, and it's more than rats.
Told you.
That could be a number of things. Is all he says. So, I'm judging based on your lack of fashion sense or etiquette, you don't have berries or fruit. So we can always do this with dollar bills.
How much?
1,000 for both.
Is it okay if I make payments?
Tiny, as long as you repair the holes in the walls, I will agree to that.
Thank you. I will do my best.
We'll see if it's good enough.
Knowing you, it will not be.
Son's muttering, "I'm so sorry. I am so sorry." He gives Ferris a bad name. "I am so sorry."
I like to refer to him as grumpy old wizened the fairest.
I resent that remark, Tiny.
I know, but you're not a grumpy, nor are you old. But I have met a grumpy old wizened before. And he'll blink his eyes at her.
It takes a lot to get me grumpy, Tiny.
No, I know. That's why I said it's not based off of you. It's based off this guy. He lived in a little hole in a little sandy hill, and he was grumpy, and he had fuzzy feet, and he reminds me of this guy.
I have seen you when you're grumpy. It's not a welcome sight.
Young man has gone back to playing the piano again because, as the father keeps, like, every 5 minutes tells him, "Start again."
Okay, where is this? Where are the bodies that are in the wall? The small.
You see it occasionally moving. It somehow keeps moving quite quickly between the second and first floor, and that looks like it even goes down to a basement area, which if you told Tiny about, Tiny would think is odd because he was told there was no basement to this house.
Well, it's moving up to the second floor, and then it moves down to this floor, and then it goes down to the basement.
But there's not a basement.
The old man is just shakes out his newspaper and continues flipping through it.
Wait, did you lie to me?
There's not a basement anymore. I boarded it off.
Vinny raises a brow, and where did you board it off?
I don't remember.
Can I kind of look around to see if I can find it?
Yeah, you can. It's like there's also an attic. That one you can tell where it is in the hallway, but I made sure that was boarded off quite quickly. Attics and basements are dangerous.
Okay. Will it be wits and
Investigation.
okay, good. That means I have 8 dice this time.
If Nebula also wants to wander around and examine the hot spots where there's evidence she can see left in the walls and stuff to get an idea of what they're doing, she can. Tiny can help or do his own thing.
Wits investigation, I'm assuming.
Yes. I mean, it's not hard because you can see where they are, but...
Well, fine. I got 2 successes. I'm not getting very good rolls today.
You have an idea of it's somewhere around the kitchen where the entrance that got boarded off might be, but you're not sure exactly where.
Okay.
Okay, that was 4.
You got 4 successes?
No. I'm saying I have 4. 1, 2. That is 4 successes.
Your difficulty is 6 because you're using the glasses, so you would see the evidence. Why? So you would have a trail to follow.
Yeah, it's still 4 successes because there's 2 8s and a 10.
So
Okay.
let's say Vinny gestured to the kitchen, saying it's probably somewhere in here after looking around, and then Nebby.
Some of the activity evidence is around the kitchen a lot. Someone coming up, like pulling themselves up through the hole where the sewer lines for the sink would be, and they come up, get food out of the fridge, that sort of thing, and then go back in.
Well, they're not going to starve. Whoever this is.
Where's Tiny? Oh, never mind. He said AFK. He's going into bio, so.
Yeah, I may have to go.
I know. I was trying to wrap this up some.
Okay, I was just gonna let you know that I was gonna head off. If you need Vinny for anything, just he's observing.
Okay.
Loves you guys. Bye.
Love you, bye.
For our viewers, the Vinny player had to go to bed because he had work later. So, Nebula, you will notice it's not quite a lot taken from the fridge, just more rummaging than anything. And you do notice some carcasses under the sink of mice that are dried out and beheaded. Is Tiny in the kitchen also, or did he stay behind where the statues were?
He stayed behind where the statues were.
You will notice when Nebula started examining the kitchen and talking out loud, the old man happened to get up and start going upstairs to his room, which he does a lot. He tends to spend most of his time in his room, but not usually when his son is out practicing.
I'm going to follow him.
He goes into his room and shuts the door.
I'm going to listen outside the door. Like a creepy old pervert.
You don't hear any talking, but you do hear like movement, like he's pacing around almost, and then it goes quiet.
Does it look like there's anything I can do to actually, quote unquote, catch whatever it is that's living in the wall?
You could probably set out a trap him in a room or something, or a closet. The space around the sink they're getting through, though, is very small. It doesn't, like, she would have to be extremely underweight and emancipated to get through it as an adult. Or he.
Could we talk to it and coax it out with our amazing personalities?
You could try. You could also both try another investigation roll to see where in the kitchen the entrance Vinny said was somewhere around the kitchen would be for the basement area.
Investigation what?
Investigation wits.
Okay, that's not bad.
Two successes.
2 successes. Okay, let's see what Tiny gets, and then I'll tell you if you failed or not.
I got 4 total successes.
With your combined successes, that's an exceptional success, since you're both working on the same thing together. You actually find it like right towards where the shelving that he calls the pantry area is. If you push the shelving aside, it's a false wall where it's a doorway that somebody has sealed off with wooden boards. You can see between the wooden boards, there's enough of a gap. If you squint, you can literally see a door behind it.
Oh.
Probably the door to the basement, if I'm guessing.
Yes.
So I will carefully move things so that I can start pulling the boards off.
Nebula, while he does that, are you examining any of it with or without the goggles? While he
I'm still examining stuff with the goggles because I'm trying to track this thing down.
There looks like there's something embedded in the back of the boards that were facing towards the door that he's pulling off the wall.
There's something behind there.
Like the boards as he drops them on the floor in front of you is when you see it.
There is something behind there. I mean, it looks to be alive?
No, not alive. Not alive in the sense it's moving or anything. It's very small, and it looks like something broke off something and is stuck in the board.
There's something stuck in the board, Tiny. Is he muted?
Yes, he's muted.
Oh, yeah, hey. I will lift up the board and look to see what she's talking about, but I don't know if I see it without the goggles.
You do. It is. I'm not even going to make you roll. It's easy to tell what this is because you've worked in the field of dark or underground work. It is fingernail marks, and there's actually fingernails stuck from whoever was clawing at the boards.
I'm turning green. I'm not to the point of puking yet, but I'm turning green.
Is his son still out there playing?
Yes, he's playing Bach right now.
I will walk out there. Do you know what's in the basement?
I didn't even know we had a basement before today.
Would that be win sympathy to see if she's lying?
To see if he's lying? No.
No.
You don't have to. I mean, wits empathy, yes, sorry.
So that's only 4 dice, but I can try.
Hey, if you need help with it.
I got 2 successes because I got a 10 and then no other successes. So
He is not lying.
okay. Can you watch this door? I have to go talk to an old man about a thing.
Okay.
Was that to me or was
That's
that
to
to
Nebby,
this?
sorry. You keep practicing. You're getting so much better. And then I will wander upstairs and knock.
No response.
I will attempt to open the door.
It's not locked.
I forget his name, but I want to open the door nicely and say his name.
I think his name was William. I don't have my notes on him open.
William, are you here? I have questions.
You see his legs on the floor beside his bed, on the opposite side of where you enter.
Okay, great. I will go look and see if he's alive.
He has a small brown vial that smells like almonds in his hand, and he's laying there with his eyes wide.
Hey, William, can you hear me?
No response.
I'll poke him.
He does not move.
I will lift him up and bring the vial with me.
As Tiny returns, Nebula, you smell almonds.
Okay, tell me whenever I sit there and see the man come down.
You can see him about now.
He's unceremoniously thrown over my shoulder. But I have the vial carefully held in one hand, in another hand.
The fuck?
I don't know. He was on the ground and he had this. And I will like
I am like literally knocking shit off the table. Lay him down.
Can I have it? Can I have his okay, can I have his son go get Greta?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
I
is
don't want him here to see this.
He's already at the door behind Tiny.
Can you go get Greta, please? Your dad is sick. We're trying to help him.
He took his medicine he calls cyanide. He says it walks out.
Cyanide.
It's
Tiny would know.
Huh?
Yeah, Tiny would know what cyanide is.
Isn't that poison?
Yes.
That's not medicine.
He called it his final solution, the boy says as he's putting his shoes on.
Does this man have a pulse?
No.
He's not breathing.
No.
He's cooling, isn't he?
Yes, he is starting to cool.
There's literally nothing I can do.
I'm sorry.
He kind of like tilts his head. He goes, "Should I still go get Greta?"
It's suicide. I'll go tell her. I'm sorry for your loss.
It's just a father, he says with a shrug. He's not the first father I've had. He probably won't be the last.
I'm gonna go try and make some tea.
He's looking at the door, y'all partially uncovered now, and he goes, "Are we gonna finish looking into that?"
Yes.
Yeah, in a minute, but first we have to sit there and at least notify the authorities because I've literally got a dead body laying out on the table.
Is that how it works for our kind? Do we still just call the hospital? Is he
I need
different
to
on the
get-
inside?
I don't know. This is why you need to go get Greta.
But she could be trapped. He or she could be trapped still.
They've been trapped for a really long time.
Can you run and go get Greta super fast, please? I reach into the pocket of the dad and I pull out $100. Like, I'll give you this when you come back.
I don't need that. I have plenty of money Father used. And he turns and just, like, nonchalantly walks out of the house.
Oh, I hate all of them.
This is super weird.
I'm going to start yanking the boards off at this point. He's very growly. Like, he's not angry, but he's frustrated. If that makes sense in the difference of growly.
Like, as you're ripping the boards off and getting close to the door, you hear movement, but it seems to be moving further away from the door.
I am not going to hurt you. I'm here to help.
Oh, and I'm covering the body with I'm assuming that there was a
Tablecloth. Yes, it was a nice dark red one.
Yeah, I am covering the body with the tablecloth because that's kind of what you do. It's kind of rude to leave them out.
When you actually get the boards out of the way into the door, there's a top lock, and it's like a piece of metal that folds over, and then it's got one of those old school key padlocks over it. It's just normal. You could easily break it if you need to, Tiny. And the door is actually half rotted at this point because it's been back there with moisture and everything for so long.
Well, I want to do something fun. So okay. I am going to go to the refrigerator, and I'm going to get some ice and start chewing on the ice and enact my Flames of Summer contract, which gives me +2 to all of my physical rolls.
Okay.
Just because I want to do something supernatural eventually. So I go.
Time for that, but go ahead.
And I'll bust open the door.
At first, it looks like a normal basement, but you see part of it was another door down there that led to what looked like a completely someone poured cement style room, no light, no ground. It was all cement and dirt in the back with just a single cot, a candle, and then someone painted a bunch of crosses on all the walls.
What is happening? Can you use your glasses for this?
Yeah, that room, the door on it, something clawed its way out from the inside of that room.
Yeah, she's taking a look at this and she pukes because it is a room that looks a little bit too much like the dormitory, and there it goes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, I will be. Is it anywhere around here?
Yes, you can actually see its outline behind some of the racks of standing shelving that's down there, full of food and like rotted food, ripped up, holy cloths and stuff. And then there's like a low growling hiss sound from behind it.
Hello. Are you okay?
A can flies at Tiny.
Is that a yes or a no? I don't speak cans.
I'm Nebula. We're here to get you out.
I am Tiny. I was trying to help you.
Greta has now arrived at the top of the stairs and goes, "What the fuck?"
That is what I am saying, Greta. He drank some cyanide because he did something bad, apparently, and something bad was trapping whatever this is down here for God knows how long. But look at the boards. They were trying to claw their way out.
Nebula and I will handle what's down here. Tiny?
She speaks can. Be careful.
I need you to go search his room and see if there's any information about what is going on up there. Journals, mail, newspapers, anything.
Yes, ma'am. And he turns and heads up.
Fortunately, I probably shouldn't have made him a foster parent, huh? She says to Nebula.
Nope, apparently not. I have no idea what's going on with this little one in here.
Do you think it's an actual little one or just someone who's undersized?
I don't know. Literally, the only thing I've actually physically seen of this person is a can that has flown at Tiny's head.
Most likely a darkling or a hobgoblin. She says as she steps down, holding the relic as she goes down to join you. While you two try to converse with it, you can try to make some rolls of empathy and presence or composure or manipulation with it will work. I'm going to switch to Tiny for a moment and let him do his investigation of dramaticness. When you go back into the old man's room, it's literally like you're stepping into a president's bedroom almost. Like it's a big velvet 4-poster bed, big fluffy pillows. It literally looks like the cream of the crop. No, he really isn't.
The first thing he does is stick his head back out of the door and yell dibs through the house.
The armoire, there's an armoire that looks like it's made out of walnut and it's painted with gold lead trim. There's a walnut matching desk. The light is a chandelier. This, like the rest of the house looked decently nice and old and decrepit. His room is literally the nicest room in the house.
Dibs.
So you can start with the bed, the armoire, the closet.
I'm going to look under the mattress.
Okay.
That's
Roll.
where I would hide something.
Go ahead and roll your investigation.
And that goes with wits?
Wits or intelligence this time.
Yay, wits. Take you for the option. 2 successes. DC 8, right?
Yes. Wait. Difficulty is 8. You roll a d10 though.
No, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Difficulty is 8. I have 4d10 right now.
Okay, so what you find is a small black book you thought was a journal at first, but when you open it up, it's a money book. Like it's names with amounts of money written beside the names, and then dates that are beside collection date, it says, and then a date.
Hey, I should know stuff about this. This is like...
Yes. This is bookkeeping. You're not quite sure what the money's for, but if he's keeping it hidden, it's most likely not legal.
Wait a second. Didn't they tell me something about... There's no... Oh, no. What kind of sums are the monies?
The first half of it, the front half, is actual money. Like Lawrence J. Hopkins owes $20. It must be collected on February. The back half, because he has a little piece of colored paper that separates them in between. The back half is Changeling. This person owes 2 goblin fruit. This person owes 100 goblin fruit. This person owes 2, changeling offspring. That sort of thing.
Oh my. I will put that in my pocket. And I guess I will go to the armoire.
When you first open it, it is very neatly organized. There are 6 suits. No normal street clothes, full suits hanging. The top shelf has hats and gloves. Then the bottom of it has 2 canes and then a pair of matching shoes for each pair with socks rolled up and cleanly laid on top. He is very specific and OCD about his organizing of items.
I'm going to search and see if there's anything hidden in there.
Okay, do another investigation roll.
Only one success.
That actually isn't that bad, and I'm willing to let you re-roll. You have one so far.
Bounce chicka bow wow. Bounce chicka brown cow. I have 5 successes now.
You notice that in the pocket of one of the jackets, it looks like a jacket he wears with all the suits. It's just an overcoat. Is a simple piece of paper with a location and a time written on it.
Okay.
You have a desk left. You have a small chest at the end of the bed, and then you have a door you think is a closet that's closed right now.
I will do the desk next.
All right.
Four successes on one roll. I'm pretty happy with that.
You notice that it's actually got a false top that opens up. Like the top of the desk actually is a lid that opens completely.
Oh, neat. This is so my room now.
When you open it, it's got a swastika hanging up inside of it.
Less neat.
And there is a brown journal, multiple vials of cyanide, multiple pictures of children, including the one that was on the piano downstairs. And there is a small brown notebook.
I will put the cyanide carefully into one of my pockets. That's for me. I will put the swastika thingy in the book.
It's carved into the top.
Oh, it's carved into it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
He's carved it into it, and there's something in German written. I don't know if you know German.
No. No other languages. I barely know English.
Okay. So you could probably tell the others about that. I'm not sure if you would know about the swastika with how long you've been gone.
That's true. Probably not. And it's because it's still really super in the 20s. It's super early in that movement too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Oh, there's more Sean going, oh, this is bad. This is real bad. So I will I put the cyanide in my pocket because that's mine. Maybe I'll make Angela. Maybe the journal. You said it was pretty much everything else I'm taking to give to Greta.
Journal, cyanide, a small pistol, and multiple pictures of children, including the boy downstairs.
All right, I'll take all the pictures, put it in the journal. I'll put the pistol in my right pocket because that's for me. And
now you can continue to search the room, or you can end your investigation.
I would continue searching because she told me to come and search everything.
Okay. So
but you can switch back over to her because it's been a little while. So.
Okay. So Nebula, at this point of coaxing and trying to calm the creature, you've got them to the point you can see part of their eyes from behind one of the boxes, and they've moved a little closer in between the shelves to you, but they're not completely out yet.
Okay. Like literally, I've got at this. I guess this is an extended roll, so I'm guessing I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Yes.
Question: is his name on my list?
Williams?
Do I recognize? Yes.
Nah, you don't. I mean, there's a William on your list, but it's not the same as the one that lives here.
All right.
Yeah. So the small creature has also stopped throwing things at you two, and is just now watching you, listening.
I mean you no harm.
It leans over and peeks out around the edge of the shelves. It looks almost like it could be a child at first, but then you realize it's a teenager to early 20s, and is extremely emancipated. Like, even the skeletal bones are poking out of its face.
Do you want something to eat?
It turns its head almost like an owl to the side and almost like its chin straight up in the air. Greta is whispering, "That's a lost. Why is there a lost locked up in his basement?"
It's been trying to claw its way out. Whenever we get back up, I can show you the evidence.
I think a good idea would be for us to make our way back up and see if it follows. If it sees that the door's open, it might come up with us. I'm only saying it because I can't tell its gender right now.
Neither can I.
So you guys can do, well, no, I'm not going to make Greta roll because she's super high in dice pool. This is up to you, Nebula, to roll as you back out. Show your setting it free, basically.
Yep. I've already done all
Composure.
the rolls you just listed. I don't know what I...
It would be another
Just straight up
composure,
composure?
empathy.
Okay, so that's 3.
Composure, empathy.
It's another 5. Okay. So then that is... no successes. It's a 2, a 4, a 2, a 4, and a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys get upstairs. It moves forward. It's now just crouched on the stairs. Like, y'all still can't see it full and clearly, but it's watching you.
I am going to take and show Greta the claw marks underneath the boards.
Her eyes narrow as she examines them. She goes, "I'd say it's been down there about 4 or 5 years at this point, maximum."
He boarded it. He didn't even tell anybody that there was a basement down here.
Did he board up anywhere else?
The attic, I believe he said, before he stormed up and committed suicide.
Well, I'd say we make some lunch.
I would agree. Maybe we can coax the little one out.
She looks towards William's, air quotes, son. "All right, young man, you're going to help us make lunch. Let's make sandwiches. It's quick, it's easy, we can put it anywhere." While you guys make food.
And I'm also going to tell her about the statues.
Her eyebrow twitches while she mutters, "Bloody fucking old man." While y'all make food, switch back to Tiny real quick. In the chest, Tiny, is more of that strange symbol, including a flag that has it on it. You're muted, by the way, Tiny.
Okay.
And you could take the flag downstairs easily. The rest of it's just random pictures, like pictures, books. There's a picture of William's, as he told you, son downstairs, but he's like, it's not a picture a father would normally own of a child.
They're not creepy pictures, are they?
This one's a creepy picture, yes.
Oh.
The rest were regular pictures. There's also in the picture, you notice that they've also put a bunch of numbers and letters on the shoulder of his son. That they're branding it into his shoulder during the situation. It is not a closet you discover when you open the door, by the way.
I figured it wasn't. That's why I said if a closet. I had a feeling this was the attic door.
It's not an attic door either. It's actually a small personal bathroom. And it's very nice. It's actually got like marble flooring and a big iron claw tub that looks big enough that you could fit in it.
This is mine.
And like
They will hear a bit of commotion downstairs because prior to going to that, I'm probably going to whip that chest across the room. I'm pretty angry at the moment.
Okay, that's fine. Then there's
like he's angry enough that there's probably tears running down his eyes.
Yeah, Nebula, you hear a crash from upstairs and what sounds like an angry Tiny.
I'm just gonna look up.
There are small vials that are labeled on the table, not the table, on the counter around the sink, and they're actually different painkillers and sedatives, and one of them is labeled morphine, though, which is probably the strongest out of them.
Those go in my pocket with the cyanide. Those are mine now.
Of course they are. Other than that, there's nothing else in here besides normal day-to-day life
Thank you.
Nobody would have interest in unless you want to give something to Greta, but most of this is men's stuff.
Nope, it's mine.
Okay.
But I will pocket the one bad picture. Or is that the only, or were there multiple bad pictures?
There are a few bad pictures of the foster son, but all the bad pictures are of that son.
Well, he's going to pocket those in a different pocket because he's going to give those to Greta. He doesn't want anybody else seeing them.
Okay.
He'll tell people that they exist, but he's not going to tell them of who and of what because that's awful.
Yeah.
And he will head.
As Nebula and Greta finish making lunch with the boy, because I don't remember what I named him at all. Greta sits one of the plates down at the top of the stairs, backs up, and is like, and now we wait.
Do I need to go and check on my oath mate?
I know, I can hear him stomping down the stairs.
Yeah, when he comes into the room, there are tears in his eyes at this moment. He's not a
You see the boy has returned with Greta.
Hi, Greta.
Yeah, the boy from the pictures is literally sitting at the island in the middle of the room.
He's intentionally not looking at him. Like, he's not making eye contact. He's not acknowledging his existence for the most part.
He kind of tilts his head. He's like, have I done something to offend you, Mr. Tiny?
Not in the least. You are amazing, and you're a very good piano player.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a rough day. I'm sorry.
Oh. I think maybe I should just go to my room. Is that okay?
You go where you need to go. Well, hold on. You don't have cyanide in your room, do you?
No, I don't even know what it is.
Okay, well, whatever he said, it was the happy last day juice or something. You don't have that, right?
No, he literally told me it was his medicine and what it was called. That was it.
Okay. I just don't want you to be hurt or anything, so thank you.
See, I have too many NPCs in this room at the moment. Yeah, he actually doesn't fully go up the stairs. He goes through one of the little side first floor doors into a small bedroom, and he doesn't shut the door. He sits down at the desk though and eats in there. You can actually still see him from the kitchen.
Tiny, are you okay?
Not at all. He kind of takes one of the boards and pulls out a pocket knife, and he kind of carves the symbol, the swastika symbol. Does this mean any?
The flag down and showed it to him.
Well, yeah, that's true. Hold on. Yeah, he did. He was smart enough to remember to bring the flag down. So he's like, this was in one of his chests. I don't know what it means, but it had some weird words underneath it. It was carved into his chest and like a chest.
Greta immediately takes the flag and throws it into the wood-burning part of the oven.
You know I love you, Nebby, right?
Yes.
Can I have a second alone with Greta, please? He looks almost pleadingly with you.
If that's what you need.
I appreciate it. I will tell you later, but I can't. I'm holding it together barely right now.
It's okay. I'm just gonna be in here in the dining room.
Can
If
you
need
can you be nice with the? Can you eat with the boy and be nice to him? I think he needs nice people.
I certainly can.
You're the nicest people I know, so thank you.
So she's gonna take a sandwich and go into the other room.
Greta,
Boy.
I'm sorry. Greta, I know you are the boss lady and I don't really have the right to tell you things, but please nobody see these other than you, and he'll reach into his pocket and hand her the pictures.
She looks at them and then she looks at Tiny and she goes, I can offer you a compromise if most people will not see this, but I am going to have to show it to two of the head detectives for this kind of situation.
I have a ton of things that I have found. He hands her the note, the journal with the other pictures of all the different children's, and he shows her everything he got pretty much except for his stuff, which is his gun and all his medicines.
So after she looks through everything, the first thing she does is she puts the pictures of the foster son away in her pocket before she lets Nebula come back. She actually calls Nebula back.
And I will, kind of eye Tiny to make sure that he's okay with this.
Tiny is sitting down and he's got his head in his hands right now, and he's trying to calm down. It is very obvious. Like he's in imagine Guru rage mode. Like he's really trying to fight that balance of wanting to just snap on somebody.
I am going to make him some tea and bring the whole thing of sugar.
Oh, it's so much sugar.
And set down tea with the sugar.
So, how much do you know about the situation with certain parts of Germany's army right now?
Is this to Tiny or is this to me?
To both.
I know nothing about what you speak of.
I don't know.
There has been a recent movement among a group of German soldiers who are anti-Semitic. That's
Are these the bigots that you talk about?
They're one group of bigots. The flag I just burned is their flag. They run prison camps where they keep men, women, and children and kill them through firing range or a gas chamber. You know the children by the letters and numbers branded into them as prisoners that have gotten away.
So there's scarring on them. Where?
Well, it depends what kind of torture they've been through, but it could be anywhere, internally or externally. Based on the evidence Tiny showed me, a certain boy you were just eating with was one of those prisoners.
He's scarred up pretty bad.
The problem I have with that theory, though, is he is a representation of their perfection, so he wouldn't have been a prisoner long. They think the perfect human is the Caucasian with blonde hair, blue eyes. They hate pretty much anyone else.
So his master did that to him.
No, humans did that to him. I just saw the evidence. Grown adult male humans in soldier uniforms did that to him.
Yeah, she's gonna puke again. Oh.
Their soldiers are known for when they are going to be captured by enemy units to use cyanide or a bullet to the head to avoid capture.
He was dead by the time Tiny brought him down. I swear to God, Greta.
He was dead when I
swear.
went up there.
Cyanide works differently on different people. As you guys are talking, you notice the figure from the basement has come up and has taken the sandwich and is sitting on the top stair, watching you as she eats the sandwich. And you can tell it is a she.
Nebby will offer a weak smile and go get like some towels or something to clean up her emotional response.
Tiny, how much do you hate this man right now?
I hate him and anyone like him.
How would you like to help be on the cleanup crew?
I can do that.
I want you to investigate the rest of the stuff you found, the locations, the times, the people on the list with the money. I want to know who's who and who worked with him.
Is it okay if I work with my motley to do so?
Yes. The only thing I ask is you be honest with him about what and why.
I will.
And if the people on that list aren't that group of Nazis and didn't know about the situation, motioning to go in the other room and the girl, you can leave them alone. But if they show any sign of knowing what was actually going on, I want you to rough them up and then bring them to the courthouse.
I will do so.
Nebby's going to try and stifle a grin.
Can I start the investigation tomorrow, please?
Yes. Tonight you need to rest. Nebula, we're going to have to get that one to the hospital, though. She needs an IV. She needs fluids.
He looks over at the young girl. Is she even looking at us at all?
Like, no, she's watching you. Like, she doesn't look like a super young girl. She's just extremely emancipated. Like, every part of her body where a bone is sticking out through the skin as she eats the sandwich. And the only thing right now she looks like she's wearing is a torn up children's nightgown that's way too small for her. And then she has long black hair that goes down to her ankles.
Tiny will get up. How tall is she? About? Can I guesstimate?
She crouching. She's about Nebula size.
So she's what, 5'7", you said?
Nebula at full height is about 5'7".
All right.
I tend to crouch over.
I will be right back. He looks at the young lady. I'm going to get up. Do not be startled. I'm not coming towards you, okay? And he will leave the room. You'll hear him go back up the stairs.
I can see about getting her one of my dresses.
For now, a blanket or something. She's gonna probably have to be in the hospital for a while. But
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying he comes back down with one of the outfits from the armoire, like that he can roll up the sleeves of the shirt, and a pair of pants he can roll up the legs of, and with a belt, so it will at least tighten around her and look like something as needed. I don't know that he was bigger than you are, but these might be okay. And he'll hand them to Nebby, and then he'll be like, I'm going to leave the room because she needs to change, and I shouldn't be here. And he goes out. He hasn't stopped crying. Like, he is. I'm actually tearing up IRL, so that's fun. But yeah, he hasn't stopped crying, so he's just
Like
he's
you go outside and you notice the boy has finished eating and he's moved on to practicing on his harp that's in his room now. And like the only artwork in his room that you can see is a piece of paper handwritten, and you know William's handwriting now that goes, "Perfection is hard."
he
Y'all,
doesn't know what to say to him.
yeah, like right now he's playing something very soft, quiet. It's not a happy tune, but it's a very calming tune. Y'all, you and Greta managed to get the outfit on her best as you can. She struggles a little at first because she doesn't understand what you're doing. And then once she realizes you're not trying to hurt her, she calms down.
Do you have a name?
She does not look like she's gonna talk to you at all. Like the only thing you can really see color wise on her besides her black hair is her eyes are like a brilliant mix between hazel and green. Other than that, she's covered in dirt and dried blood, and like her fingernails are all broken and everything. Which Greta's gonna mutter, she's been down there long enough. She may have either lost her voice or she's selectively mute. Well, I'll search the Amber Alerts and see if I can find anything about her.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, this is one of the children we brought with him as foster care that he told us went away to college.
Oh God.
Is this his house, Greta?
This was his house. I'm now transferring the deed over to you and the boy.
Okay.
She like spits on the corpse as she walks past of it on the table.
Do you want me to get rid of the corpse, or do we need it?
We're gonna need to do an autopsy.
Okay.
I have the bottle.
I know cyanide killed him, but I want to know other things about him.
I understand. Thank you, Your Majesty.
You're welcome.
Do I need to stand here and wait for whoever's going to come and collect it?
I have 2 men outside who will be taking it to the hospital now. Tiny, take the night off. You and the boy relax. If you want to investigate anything else around the house, I would start with the attic. Anywhere else, I would just wait till tomorrow.
Okay. I would rather have Vinny and Nebula both here for that, so.
Okay.
What was I going to ask? Nebby, would you mind staying here tonight? After work, of course, not before. I know you got to get back to work.
After work, I do need to stop by the house for Billy. I need to have Billy with me.
Actually, no, you can stay with Billy. I'll talk to Amelia. Amelia will stay here. I'll give her the nice room.
I mean, I can bring Billy.
No, I don't know I don't know what's in this house at this point, and I like Billy. There's a bad vibe here now for me. So I want to fix that first before we have someone as sweet as Billy here.
She'll kind of pull her dress up, a little bit. Yeah.
So to wrap this up, Greta's men come inside and take the body. They also take the 2 treasured out to take to the asylum. They put the girl in the front seat with Greta and her. Well, it's not the front. It's like a middle row of seats they put her in. It's got 3 rows in her vehicle, which is odd. And they offer Nebula a ride back to the hospital so she doesn't have to take the trolley.
Thank you.
And with that, because we've been going 2 hours and 15 minutes, we will end the scene there. Thank you for viewers for watching, and thank you players for playing. I'm sorry I made you cry.
It's okay. That's just good role play. That's just a